past 3 years, my church has been going to Ensenada, Mexico, which is just across the border from San Diego, and we go there to help a church run a VBS during the summer. It always starts out with the traditional preparation night of making materials and crafts for the workshops and the storing of supplies for the church because they can't afford to have utensils for 50 to 60 kids. Then we all get up at 4 a.m. the next morning and head straight to the airport with all of our luggage. Then we fly straight to San Diego and meet up with our corresponding missionary at the airport, and then drive to In-N-Out to get a bite to eat before our long drive down to Ensenada. After being in the car for 2 to 3 hours, we arrived at the church. And then, after meeting up with all the people down there, we discussed our plans for what VBS is going to look like during the week and what the afternoons are going to look like after VBS. After that, we helped set up props and distribute supplies throughout the classrooms in preparation for the VBS coming up the following week. After getting most of it done, we split up into our hosts' houses and got acquainted with our hosts and got settled into our temporary homes. The next morning, we go back to the church and go to Sunday school and to the service, and afterwards we finish VBS preparations and go to the boardwalk, which is a popular tourist attraction in Ensenada. While we were there, we gave out information about the church, and we also gave them comics which would question their faith, hoping that it would get them interested in the information about the church that we just gave them. The next day was the first day of VBS, and like every day, it started out with singing and dancing in the sanctuary to get the kids excited for the week. After that, we split the kids up into their different age groups. My age group of kids were between 5 and 7, and in those classes, we would teach them lessons and then give them games or crafts that would correspond with that lesson. Then there was snack time, where there would be parents that would come in and make small portions of food, and then we would distribute them to all the kids. Once they were done eating, we would bring them to their workshops, which would either be crafts, games, or music. I happened to be one of the leaders of the craft section, and I was really able to use this to get to know the kids as I conversated with them, as I would also help them make their craft. On 2 of the afternoons during the week, we managed to go to a smaller church in a poorer area of Ensenada, and we did a smaller VBS with the neighboring people around the area of the church. And we did the same things like the singing and the dancing and the crafts, and we also did the same lessons, just a shorter version of it. On one of the days when we weren't doing any VBS stuff or church stuff, we managed to go to the beach and enjoy the water and the sand and the overall good weather of Ensenada. And we also got to really enjoy the company of the people that were working with us during the VBS. On the last day of VBS, we had to cut it short so that we could go into the sanctuary and do one last performance in front of all the parents. And then that was it. That was our last day there. The next morning we had one last breakfast, and then we all said goodbye to each other. And every year I go, I learn to love these people more and more, and I plan on continuing to go there this summer.